From each as they choose, to each as they are chosen. There is no social entity with a good that undergoes some sacrifice for its own good. There are only individual people, different individual people, with their own individual lives. The fundamental question of political philosophy, one that precedes questions about how the state should be organized, is whether there should be any state at all. Why not have anarchy? Unsuccessful businessmen and workers do not have the same animus against the capitalist system as do the wordsmith intellectuals. Only the sense of unrecognized superiority, of entitlement betrayed, produces that animus. There are only individual people, different individual people, with their own individual lives. Using one of these people for the benefit of others uses him and benefits the others. Nothing more. What happens is that something is done to him for the sake of others. Talk of an overall social good covers this up. There is no justifiable prediction about how the hypothesis will hold up in the future. Its degree of corroboration simply is a historical statement describing how severely the hypothesis has been tested in the past. It's the level that allows us each to live our own chosen lives. But I notice not everyone agrees with the primary importance of that level, and I try to account for how they don't. I think a lot of Marx was quite sloppy. There was all sorts of politically aggressive language when he lacked arguments for things. Utopia is a framework for utopias. A place where people are at liberty to join together voluntarily to pursue an attempt to realize their own vision of the good life in the ideal community, but where no one can impose his own utopian vision upon others. The major public goals in my life are intellectual goals. There are various philosophical things that I want to work on and work out. The libertarian position I once propended now seems to me seriously inadequate, in part because it did not fully knit the humane considerations and joint cooperative activities it left room for more closely into its fabric. Examples one finds in the philosophical literature are somebody who's seen the trial of a child of theirs, where they're being proved guilty of some crime that would drive the parent into a depression, maybe a suicidal depression. Whoever makes something, having bought or contracted for all other held resources used in the process, is entitled to it. The situation is not one of something's getting made, and there being an open question of who is to get it. Things come into the world already attached to people having entitlement over them. The scientists often have more unfettered imaginations than current philosophers do. Relativity theory came as a complete surprise to philosophers, and so did quantum mechanics, and so did other things. Through the evolutionary process, those who are able to engage in social cooperation of various sorts do better in survival and reproduction. It is, from another angle, an attack on requiring proof in philosophy. And it's also the case, I guess, that my temperament is to like interesting, new, bold ideas, and to try and generate them. What I was really saying in the examined life was that I was no longer as hardcore a libertarian as I had been before.